problem.
So, is everyone on the screen?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Starting now we are.
Okay. So, that positioning, that's this, right? Let me move my mic. There. So now you can hear me. So that is the equivalent of this.
Makes
Those
sense.
small, those small circles, um, those are going to be what I call freeze points. Um, it's just one example. Freeze points can be anywhere. When you freeze and you have timing, right? Right now, my arm and the poi are spinning what's called 1-to-1, right? So the relationship between my arm and the poi is the same. So what this class is going to go over is being able to maintain that same 1-to-1 ratio between the hand and the poi while no longer thinking about the arm's relation to it. So for example, if I'm spinning and I use a freeze point, the poi moves at the same speed that the arm and the poi were before the freeze point. There's no speed up, there's no slow down. It stays consistent. And that ultimately allows you to play with more patterns and understand the timing and the relation between those patterns without having to hyper focus on I got to get the move. You stop looking at geometry as a move and more so as instead of going everything left, you might bend it right and then keep going. Um, so it's teaching a lot of moves with just timing. So, with that said, the first thing to go over, no, we're gonna go B, split time. So, um, with your sticks in split time, which would be they meet in the middle when they're in rotation. Move my mic. Bop. If you just do a loop, right, and a loop, 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 loop. If I stop at any point on the sides, they're split.
Oh man, you know what? I should have gone. Dang, I should have tried. What do you want? I'll take the new bottom. What's up?
What's up?
Matt, can you
We
please
need to
mute
find
yourself?
like a second to. I guess.
Hey, shut the fuck up.
Hey, don't be rude.
I mean,
I'm just
like,
gonna.
for like a,
So, in that move, you're essentially doing with one poi a spin native side, right? And a full loop, native side, loop, native side, loop, native side, loop, and then this one, native side, loop, native side, loop, as it passes over, passes over, passes over, passes over. And if you notice my arms, they do the freeze at the same time. So it's a single stagger. There's only one beat that happens on native side. And it's a comfortable move because everything's in split and you don't have to hold for too long. So when we first start learning a lot of moves, um, it's really like habitual to keep your arms moving and keep your prop moving. It's almost like we're trained to our arms and everything kind of moves and you're moving and everything's fun. But we forget what that relation is between just if I want to stop here and keep this one moving and keep it to where everything is the same timing. So at any point, if I freeze, I'll actually get more in frame. If you're spinning and you freeze a prop, you should be able to take it just about anywhere and it ends back up in split. And the next move is going to be the way to drill that. So and if you don't want to do the side by side, which is like a move, um, you can dabble with it with however you want. I mean, you don't have to do full circles. You don't have to do the one beat extension. It's solely about just trying to get the idea of your hand and the string relation, or your arm and the string relation. So this, there. Okay. So, oh, let me go over one other thing. Why this works in split time is we're counting downbeats. So a downbeat is whenever things are down. So in this case, a full extension is one downbeat. One, one, one. When we do the single spin and the full, that's two, because we're going one, two, one, two. And if we want to verify that, you could do a 2-beat weave and it lines up, right? So it kind of verifies the amount of beats in that. What we're going to focus on, though, is a 3-beat idea of that. I went forward again. So by adding a beat, when you add a beat, you switch a timing. Split time, 2 beats. So if we add a single beat, we're now going to make the relation of the poi 2 beats, 2 static spins equals 3 beats. So this is the main focus of everything here. You start in just over to your side, that same kind of framework of a full circle. You're just going to be on either your left or right. As soon as you choose to move your front arm, which in my case, if I'm on my left, front arm is my right hand, you should be able to go to here, because your relation is going to be this spin is at the same speed as the extension. So to start, get going, move, and work into getting back to same time. And then stop from there, get back to your spin, and go from there. And that's pretty much part one before we get into it. So I'll let you guys kind of dabble with that for a second before we start picking it up over the top and counting the beats. It's just keeping that timing as consistent as possible. And if anyone wants to turn their mic on and they have questions at any point, please do.
Just want to say this is such a dense topic, and you're doing good so far.
Thank you.
Could you demonstrate that one more time?
Yeah. So you're on one side, and you'll throw down, and end up still in same time.
Okay.
And if anyone's freehanding, an interesting way to kind of look at it, if you're like into isolations, would be if you're going like here, right? Oh God, that's tough. Going here, you want to be able to match up. Oh, that's tough, but it can be done.
Okay.
I don't want to
Be
kill
nice
your
if
quality. And I was like, I was debating if I should turn the video on, or if I don't want to kill the quality though.
We had between you and I 2 like really high quality cams, and then
Yeah.
I think I saw one other pretty high quality cam come on, and it just drained the bandwidth.
It really did. I'll just tell you I got it so far.
Yeah, if you do get it, you don't have to say. If you want to say, if you have questions, like chime in.
Definitely gonna go back and listen to this bit of it again, but I think I have
Okay.
it for now.
Yeah, and at any point during the week, here, whenever you want to message me about either this class or something that you found from it, or questions or anything, like feel free. I have Discord on my phone. I can get back to you as soon as I can. If I'm working and I can't right away, I'll let you know, and then I'll message you when I get home. But I think so far it's kind of the baseline of it. So I'm going to go on to part 2.
Also, just a brief little thing to mention for anyone before you start part 2 is that we don't. So when we turned our cameras off, that doesn't mean that you can't turn it on. It just means that we can't all have it on. So if there's like something you need to ask them or a question or something,
yeah,
then you can turn it back on. We just can't have like all 7 people up, you know?
Yeah,
All
yeah,
of a
very
sudden.
true. If anyone wants the other camera on, please do. Just let me know. I'll sit down so I can super focus.
Thanks, Alan. Thanks, Eric.
Okay, so part 2. So if you look on the little screen image that I have, it's the blue and the red lines on the side. Those are meant to denote that the poi, or sticks in our case, because we're awesome, are meeting up at the sides at the same time. The other one, they meet up split time, right? Simple. Where it says hand freezes 2 beat staggered, would mean that if I want to do a beat and rotation, but I want the props to, I guess, hold a static position and also hold same time, I need to have 2 beats in that static position. So a stagger just means one then the other. I'm sure we all know what a staggering motion is. So for here, we move to here, right? As soon as we do that move, one, we're gonna hold a single beat. 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. So it's not going to be a single beat move, single beat move. It's going to be beat, 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 or so beat, 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 beat. And you can see the static rotation, it's doing 2 spins. And that allows it to stay in same time. So play with that. Try to get that full circle. If you're having trouble with the top side, that full loop, just go back to the bottom one, because you learn the timing whether you're doing the top or the bottom. The pattern becomes irrelevant. You learn the timing just from the most simple motion. So play with that now for a little while, whether it's the bottom or the top or the full pattern. If you're advanced already and you fly through that, play with that move, but when you get to the sides, pop an anti-spin, and that'll immediately make you go, oh wow, so opposite caps are same time, which when I discovered that, blew my mind. I didn't realize that so many patterns in opposite are actually same time, and it changed how I do all my wall plane flowers as far as being in opposites go. Ooh, not broken. So I'll sit for a second. If anyone wants to throw their camera on or has questions, please do. Next one, we're totally using Zoom. Aqua.
I don't know.
Way
Do we
more
get meet
bandwidth.
world at one
Yeah.
time?
Yeah, I mean, I got a business account for Zoom. If you guys need it, just let me know.
Yeah,
'Cause
I
it's
I can set
real
it up
bad.
too. It's all
Yeah,
good.
exactly.
I would have
Nice.
thought
Yeah.
Discord would have been more friendly to us.
Yeah,
It's a
Aqua's
bitch.
fancy. Aqua has meetings.
All the meetings. I'm a Zoom
All the meetings.
professional.
Who
But
joined?
It's me again. Don't
Oh,
worry.
okay. Whatever.
don't worry. Uh,
was bad, man.
it's all good. Uh, I'm excited though. This seems like this is explaining a lot of stuff that I never had words for or fully understood, honestly, either.
It's like really, I don't want to say fundamental, but in like a dumb way, it's kind of fundamental. Um, what's cool about it is once you like get really comfortable with just like that basic timing and relation, where you can apply it in like high-paced glow stringing,
Hmm.
it's really cool.
I'm like
'Cause you,
tripping out that it like that like extension into the split time works so perfectly though. Like I don't know, it's just
yeah,
like the timing bit of like doing an extension is like oh it's literally just keeping it in the split is I don't know. That's
I
my
yeah.
also like
that
how
that
we're
was
getting
my
like
little mind blow.
we're getting a little mini lesson on poise tablature.
It
True.
kind of is. I mean, I originally taught this class at Universal Flow Gathering in like 2015, I think. It's the first time I've went back to it um, since. Although I stopped teaching in 2016, so that's here nor there. um, but yeah, it was by far like the most well received class that I ever taught because it doesn't matter where your skill level is, you can pick up like the ideas from it and use it in so many places, and it cleans up a lot of moves that people already know. They just do it as a move rather than like moving through geometry, which is kind of the poi aspect of it. Like a lot of tech poi now is a lot of moves, but a lot of tech poi circa 2010 to 2015 had more to do with moving through geometry, which is where a lot of the discovery came from. So it's kind of lost now, but it's good stuff. It's like VTG without learning VTG. Any questions, or is everyone just
What
hardcore
is
playing?
VTT?
Vulcan Tech Gospel. It's
Gotcha.
it's yeah, it's
It was thrown
to put
in
it
pre-handing earlier this
to
week.
put it super quickly. Um, it is a framework for timing and direction with almost any prop that moves through geometric space.
Hmm. Okay.
What's cool about framework though is when it's a very duh framework. Um, no one ever said that you can't twist a framework 45 degrees and play with it that way, or shrink it down so you only use that framework in an area in space that you want to use it in. And you can develop a lot of moves by taking frameworks and stop thinking of it as like this is the framework, but like adapt it to certain areas. And after this portion where you guys play with this move, I'll get into um, what I call like world planes, or using static spins to accentuate performance, which is like the last part of this whole thing.
I love this part. This is math. I like math.
Oh, I couldn't hear you. I
Yay.
had you to turn up JP.
Oh, I said I like this part because it's math. Me like math.
Nice. Yeah. And I'm not great at math. So for me to teach math is cool.
Awesome.
Yeah, I suck at algebra. Good at geometry, but I suck at algebra. So I'm gonna just keep demoing the move for a little while you guys keep dabbling.
Thank you. I'm just sticking around at this point.
It's never happened to me before, but my strings keep twisting while spinning, and it's making this whoosh, whoosh sound. And it's driving me absolutely crazy right now.
It doesn't make it sound more epic.
No, because the spinning's like making the stick feel heavier in the air. It's like giving it drag.
Wow.
It's all same time, same direction, um, using static spins and learning the relation of your arm spinning to the poi spinning. And it's kind of like a drill to keep that timing between your arm and your spin as one to one as you possibly can. So the idea is you should be able to hold a static position, and the prop, in this case glow sticks on shoelaces, should be spinning at the same speed that it was in an extension as it is in a static spin. So when you relate it to another, stick, it meets up still at same time no matter where you freeze and where you take it.
So is it normal to have a hard time keeping it from going split time after the extension?
Yes, so that's the whole point of the exercise, is to break the habit of split time. So
Gotcha.
it's so I'm sure everyone remembers when they were first learning the 3-beat weave, how hard it was to break the habit of 2-beat. It's that move, the same time, it's almost exactly like breaking the habit of a 2-beat weave, learning a 3-beat, because you have to hold that extra beat. The difference is a 3-beat and a 2-beat, they're split time. This is all in same time. So it's kind of adding an extra layer of, I guess, habit to break. But if you've learned a 3-beat after having struggled trying to fight the 2-beat, you can do the same thing with this move. It's just, I like to think of it as a 3-beat wall plane. I wish you guys had cameras. Damn, we're so doing this on Zoom next time so I can watch.
I mean, somebody could definitely turn on their camera if you want to go one by one and check everyone's form. Or if anyone wants their form checked.
Too much pressure.
Definitely, I had to take a break just because I'm so used to
I
not
had
doing extensions.
so
I'm
many
actually
jokes
kind of
right
sore right
there.
now.
I am
Yeah.
gonna upload this at some point.
I didn't, so.
Thanks, JP.
But
what happened? Okay, I
oh,
broke
you're
my
good.
collarbone in 2005, 2006, my freshman year in high school. I snapped my clavicle for the second time. This one was worse. And I didn't have full motion of my shoulder for years. And I remember trying to learn flowers and extensions when I first got into it. And it felt impossible. I was like, this is never going to happen. And I fought through it for so long that I almost gave myself my own physical therapy. And now I have like better rotation from doing extensions than a lot of people do that don't spin. It's weird, but the more you do them, it becomes really, really, really comfortable to do. It's like the whole like reaching behind your back and touching your fingers kind of thing. It's like impossible at first, but that sucks to drill. Extensions are fun. Like touching your fingers behind your back is never going to be useful, but extensions, those are useful.
Yeah, I'm
So
going
think
through
of
some
it as
flexibility
physical therapy.
exercises right now, and they suck more than glow sticking ever did.
Seriously, it's so hard to keep the jokes back right now.
We do spin sticks on glow on shoelaces.
I was so happy to see that the banner for tag glow stringing is still the one that I made in like 2015.
Oh my gosh, we should change that.
No, it made me so happy.
Yeah.
Photoshop work,
It,
everything from Google Images. Let's go.
that's been on there for a very long time. Since I
That's true.
joined, I think.
Glow stick plus shoelaces equals love.
It's true. I don't know if we could top that, honestly, so. I think John is the only admin on that page at this point.
Wow, everyone. Don't worry, John. I'm coming back, buddy. I'm just waiting for for Facebook to say, yeah, we got your ID. Okay, you are who you say you are.
Oh shit, this is on the record now, Eric.
That's okay. I don't mind. I can. Here's the thing: is a turtle can always go back into its shell.
This is true. This is true.
Yeah, no recourse can be done
Seriously,
to a
come on. This is so hard.
I mean, I could do more to where you are
Just gonna.
at a level that you can't hold it, and you have to say something.
Oh, I thought he was talking about the exercise. Also, I
Any
already can't
questions
hold
from
it,
anyone? All right. Does anyone want me to hold off still for a few minutes before I go into like world planes and like more performance-based uses for this application? Or you good?
I'm good.
Okay, that's one. Majority rules here. This is a tech democracy.
Tech democracy.
There will be a recording. I can totally come back to this later when my
Give
shoulders
it to
don't
me
feel
like a
terrible.
southern cousin.
What? Oh my god. God damn it,
Well
JP.
Well played.
Oh no, Papa!
Yeah, if it's being uploaded,
Papa to you.
I'm throwing shots to Andrew Strauss for not coming in when he's the only one that commented. So.
Oh, he says he got off work like right now, 15 minutes ago. So he was like, "Why'd you have to
He can
start
join
so
the
early?"
he can join the after party.
Yeah, for sure.
I'll give him the Sparks notes.
Perfect.
Spark.
I think I honestly, when I seshed with him a couple years ago, I think I showed him this exact stuff very briefly, but I don't remember. I showed Jonathan Alvarez this stuff, and funny enough, it took him way longer, as in like 10 seconds longer, to duplicate it than I thought it would have.
So proud, so proud.
Yeah. Well, and it's because it's something that like it's so obvious, but it's not like the hold to stagger movement. It's not like a move that's that pretty to want to like learn it and do it in a set. It's very much so like a sequence that is like for drilling because it's not that pretty. When you get it, it feels really cool. So
Like my girlfriend in high school.
Oh my god,
yeah.
JP.
There you go. Like I said, I'll fire him out. You just got to capitalize.
No, I'm done now. I just had to get a couple weeks went to
Like my boyfriend in high school.
Hey, you ain't lying.
He fires him out, I capitalize.
Maybe it's better it was on
He was one
Discord.
of those that doesn't matter if he was on top or on bottom. It's just the same pattern.
Wow. That is a super wow.
I'm glad it's
Does
not
anyone
on
else
Zoom
need more
now.
time, or are we good to go?
For the best. Okay. So I'm gonna skip this. All right. So I'm gonna towards the end of this class I talk about a thing I call world planes. When you think of planes, when we learn, we think of like that whole, oh, my planes are sloppy. They go in and out, and people say, oh, practice against the wall. When I say world planes, that is to assume that you already have those planes, the first ones, kind of in order to where
Oh no.
you can spin and it tends to stay in the same plane. So, um, depending on how much space you have, take one single rotation and try to keep it there and walk around it. Play with it. Move far, move in. Um, that is what I call a world plane. And in performance, it's really, really cool to use that to your advantage to kind of accent, uh, you know, parts of a song, or you can get dramatic. You can be really tight in and then throw back and then come back in, or anything like that. And it ties really well into those static rotations, because once you get the first part of this class where you're comfortable with that relation between timing, um, you start to add world planes into it, and you can at that point kind of use that as a ground, like a framework rather, to flow freely, and there's no right or wrong way to do it. You can freeze up here and move in out. So, instead of doing your normal windmill, you can freeze one, step in and out of it, and what the audience sees is something that's being spun in static space. But how it feels to you is different, and it it can make performing both more fun for you because it feels different, but also um, less predictable to an audience. And in most cases, predictability for like a trained eye, like what a trained eye tends to enjoy watching is unpredictability. Trained eye, everything's unpredictable. So if you can add more unpredictability to that, especially if you do a move, you're training them. Now they're trained. And then you freeze and you step in. That can kind of shock them more. So in performance, a thing that I was taught when I was performing for Red Swan is, um, every audience is an untrained eye for the most part. So your goal as a performer is to train them halfway into your routine, so that way they can understand what they're seeing, and then you can mess with their heads. So if they're assuming that, oh, they're just doing the same moves over and over, they start to expect certain things, and you tweak it to where now they're captivated. Because the worst audience is an audience that's not, I guess, impressed by the basics. They, oh, they're just doing this move over and over again, or, oh, like they're up high, and when their arms are up high, they just kind of wrap it around their head. So you can take really basic movements and make uh untrained eye that becomes, I guess, comfortable, or not comfortable. What's the word? Um, Apathetic, maybe, to what a performer is doing. You can shake that from them.
Complacent?
Complacent, yeah, they become complacent, like a drunk dude at a rave, for example. They see a spinner, and the stringer is at a basic understanding of stringing, has some solid rap combos, but it's to the masses that are watching it, they see 15 different stringers doing a lot of the same, like, you know, I won't say basic rap combos, but very like 1 2 3 4s, poi, 1 2 3 4, poi. You can shake that just by like using world planes, freezing, moving, um, and
So good, bro. So good. Thank you.
you're welcome. Uh, it doesn't take much to look impressive to an untrained eye. It just takes like knowing what that untrained eye is expecting. So with that first thing of the timing and relation, use that to take whatever kit you have at your disposal and play with it. And um, don't just play with the side to side. Who left? Rip.
It was Pixie Sticks.
Don't just play with the side to side. If you're comfortable enough to do it, oh god, top and bottom, which is really tough, and you want to dabble with that, dabble with it. If you want to do full, dabble with that. If you want to freeze, god, it's hard in this room, but you could be here, right, and then swing here. So it's almost like this one stays exactly where it is, but you turn and you do a larger arch with one, and yeah, I mean it's kind of like sky's the limit as far as what you can do with timing and relation. But once you dial in playing with that same time, um, it all kind of clicks. So with that said, that's pretty much the entirety of it. So
That was
I can
awesome.
officially say we are in the after party now.
That close-in was so valuable. I hope people listen to it because it's exactly like that's one thing that I find being 39 that is fucking missing so much in a lot of the stuff as people are coming up earlier, younger and younger, is they don't understand the progression part of it, and they're gonna literally lose the art because of it. And they're
Yeah.
so focused on I could do this trick, but they don't know where the development of it came from. And taking an audience from the beginning to the end, to where at the end they're like, "Holy crap!" They see the progression of it. It's such a balance because you either lose them or you keep them,
Yep.
and it's a fine line. But dude, for mentioning that, props, man. That was awesome.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, this is a performance art. It's with glow stringing in particular. We're at a point now where a lot of us do it for us. Small community, um, heavily based off of inspiring others, mostly within the community, and in return getting inspired by others. But it is a performance art. It is in the same avenue as poi, staff, juggling, you name it. And when you look at a juggler performing, they never throw down their hottest tricks first. There is a system to performance art, and it feels pretty good too when you're jamming out and doing a set fresh cracked ultras where you build progressively to kind of showcase and teach. So thank you for noting that I mentioned that. I ramble in my classes and my brain kind of goes to where it's going to go. I'm glad I was able to actually think about that aspect of it to mention it.
Thank you. I'm gonna turn the
Yeah, thank you so
recording
much.
off.
Okay, yeah, we're in after party mode.